Hello everyone and welcome back to yet another video. So today we're going to talk about post-production. We talked about pre-production. That was all the planning, all the time limits that you should know about, all the stuff that you need. Now we did talk about production, what to shoot, how to shoot, what to shoot on and with. And now we're going to get to the fun part. And that is editing your footage from all the stuff that you've taken down to something usable. So now this part can be very intimidating, can be very scary to get into at first, but don't worry, we're going to walk you through it step by step by step. So come sit down and join me by your computer and we shall begin learning about the basics of video editing. Alright everyone, so a couple things you're going to need to have to do this. Number one, you're going to need a computer. Of course, the later and the more advanced your computer is, the better it will be able to handle video editing. But with enough patience, you'll be able to do video editing on pretty much any computer. The other thing you're going to need is some video editing programs. So now there's many different ones. There's a couple of free ones though. So if you have a Mac computer, there's iMovie, which is a great program. That's what I got my start on. All my early videos were edited on iMovie. If you have a PC, I believe there's Windows Movie Maker, but there's also Premiere Pro. There's also all kinds of Adobe software that does this. The program that I use is Final Cut Pro X. But the principles that we're going to learn today apply to pretty much any and all types of video editing programs, and so there's going to be a slight format differences, but the general idea is all the same. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to import your video. And so however your media is stored, however your video that you shot of your lesson, however it's stored, transfer that onto your computer. Now, the next step is to import it into the program that edits video. And so in my case, there's a little thing up here, the little down arrow. You would click on that, and it would open up all the various file places that you can have. Now, this particular thing has all of my old videos, so I could import one of those if I wanted to mess with it further. Oh, it's actually doing that now. Anyway, so then it imports. Now there's a little timer, a little estimated. It will take 3 minutes, 4 minutes, an hour and a half, whatever it is to import, and then there you have it. Your video will then appear in your library. That's this area over here. You see my mouse going. You see all the video clips that I have, as well as all the projects. See, we have all the projects over here, all the projects that I have done. And so now at this point, now what we want to do is start a new project because it's a new lesson. So in my case, that would be Control N, or Command N, since this is a Mac, and you would name it, let's name it Test Video 1, because I'm not particularly imaginative right now in naming my video clips. And so we're actually going to use the first attempt at this video as our test footage. So here we have me. We can see I am in my office and I am talking. And so now what you want to do with that video is you want to click and drag from your library, this is your library area, to your timeline. This is the timeline. So you're going to click it and drag it, and it's going to appear in your timeline. So now, as you can see, you have all the footage displayed in the timeline. And so now what you can do, you see this little red bar over here, what you can do is you can scrub through it. That's what you're doing here. You can zoom through really fast, and you can see all the different parts that you shot. And this is the part, by the way, that these come in very handy for a variety of reasons, namely so that you don't drive your family crazy. Because if you don't have this on and you're scrubbing through your video at high speed, it's going to sound something like this. Which is highly obnoxious. So, headphones, which is still obnoxious to you, but you knew it was coming. It's not just going all the time throughout the house. That's painful. So, headphones. Okay, there we go. And so now the next thing, as you're going to go and look through your footage, the next thing you want to do is, before you do anything else, put in all of the clips that make up your lesson. So let's say you have a lesson that you shot, you're in one spot, you did the introduction, and then you move somewhere else, and you have another piece, and then you have a closer, this is your end, and then you have your homework, for an example. So you have one clip, you have two clip, you have a third clip, and then you have a fourth clip. These clips aren't actually those things. This is kind of the beginning bit of, I shot some footage of me editing and drinking coffee. But that's besides the point. So now you have all your lesson laid out, it's all in there. The next step is to listen through it, to watch through it, and to cut the clips that you don't want. This is a very, very important bit. Because when you, for instance, when you start a clip, your finger is going to be right there, starting it, and then when you end it, it's going to be the same thing, right? Because you got to press play. And so the first thing that they're going to see in a clip is going to be your finger. No one wants to see your finger as the first. They want to start the clip with, "Welcome to today's lesson. Today we're talking about grammar." Or if they want to hear about grammar, that's not the purview of this video. Right, so the first thing you got to do is so let's start at the beginning. So at the beginning, and you hit play. Watch. All right, so as you can see, there was a bit at the beginning where I was just sitting there. Right, I had clicked, and then I had sat down. And so what you want to do right here is you want to cut off that bit and wait till I start speaking and cut there. So right before I say hello. So every program has a slightly different way of cutting a clip, but for Final Cut, the one I'm using, it's Command B for break or blade or whatever it is. Here we go, Command B. All right, so now, as you can see, I now have one clip here and one clip here. Now they're two separate pieces. Since I don't need that, I'm going to click on it and then click backspace. Now it's gone. There you have it. And so the next thing you're going to do is you're going to go to the other end, and so you're going to watch through. And, oh, there we go. That's perfect. That actually worked very nicely. When I started saying that, I made a mistake. I said, "Hello, everyone," and then I forgot what my next words were going to be. So I actually started further in. And so as you're watching through, you find a mistake, what you can very, very easily do is just chop out the mistake. So in this case, the mistake starts at the beginning, and so I can just chop off the beginning again. Here we go. So Command B, and click and delete. Now let's say, just to give an example, there's a mistake in the middle. So we can go click, Command B, move it over to the end of the mistake where I corrected myself, another Command B, and chop out that middle bit. And there you have it. That is how you cut and crop your video. So this is incredibly useful, mostly just to prevent your lessons from going on too long, because I don't know about you, but personally, I tend to, there's a fun English word, I tend to blither, as in I tend to talk and talk and talk and talk, right? But fortunately, with video editing, I can cut out all the random stories about my mother-in-law that aren't relevant to our video, right? So, and it's like I never said it. There you go. All right, so the next up of the very important skills is how to use titles. So titles are, in this case, they're right over here. I think in the free iMovie, they're somewhere over here, but that's fine. So over here, you can see a whole bunch of different titles. And titles are extremely useful to make sure that your students know what to write down as notes or what is important. Because whatever's in big, bold letters on the screen, important. Whatever's not in big letters on the screen, not necessarily as important. They might not have to write that down. So to insert a title, what you'll do is you will click on the title, and you'll click and hold and drag it, and you'll put it in on top of your footage. You can also, by the way, put it instead of your footage. It will stop your footage and it will only display the title. What you do then is you drag it between two clips, and then it has however many seconds of your title. But standard titles, you want to put that over your video. So now let's edit our titles. Now let's write whatever we want to write. So right now it just says title, which is not particularly helpful. Also, it's pretty small. So first let's write on it. So what you're going to do is you're going to double tap on your title, and that's going to bring up, it's going to be highlighted, and you're going to go over here, and you're going to type whatever you want to type. I'm, in this case, saying, "Hi there," because we're just demonstrating. Problem right now is that it's very small in the frame, right? It's very, very tiny. And so what I'm going to do here is they're in this whole drop-down menu of options. You can change the font, and you can change how bold it is. You can do all kinds of fun things but you can also change the size. And so I'm going to change it from 63 to 200. There we go. That's much more visible. The other thing is that right now it's blocking my head, which is not ideal. So I'm going to click on it right here. I'm going to drag it lower. That's much more visible. That's less distracting. That's not blocking anything important, like my face. We like my face. We don't want to block it. Very important. All right, so that is how you use a title. So the next and final thing that you can really, really enhance your videos with is the use of background music. Now, background music is very intentionally background music. It should be quiet. It should be very quiet to the point that it's there, but it's not interfering with your voice. So when you put it on, you're going to lower the volume dramatically, and then you're going to listen to it. And if you can still hear yourself talking, good to go. Can't hear yourself talking? Lower it further. It's like barely there, but it makes a big difference because it affects the mood of your video. Is this a jolly thing? Is this industrious? Is this, we're building something? Is this serious? Is it happy? Is it silly? Is it funny? But whatever your music is, there should be, that's kind of setting the tone of your lesson. Now, where do you find the music? I personally find the music on, it's a site, it's called Epidemic Sound. I'm not sponsored by them, but here it is. Epidemic Sound is wonderful. They have all kinds of music, all different genres, and a lot of instrumental stuff. And I personally like to use instrumental music behind my lessons just because there are no words to distract from what I'm saying. There's nothing else going on. It's all just instrumental, and you can find whatever it is for every possible mood that exists. If you're savvy with this, you can actually, I think you can get the first month free. So if you go and download a ton of music of all kinds of different types and then cancel your subscription, you don't pay anything. So if you want to do that, you can, but then you can't go back and take more after that because your bump will be up. Personally, I just have the subscription and I have it for the duration. Because you have the service and then you have full legal rights to use this song in all of your productions, and you're never going to be in infringement of any copyright laws, which is good to do ethical things when you're doing teaching of young minds and what have you. And so what you basically do is you take it and you click on it and you drag it onto your video. So now you'll see, if you can even see here, this is way too loud. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on it, we're going to go into the volume, and we're going to click -30. There we go. Now it's dropped massively. So now you can barely hear in the background. You can hear it, but it just sets the tone. Well, everyone, that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe and activate notifications and all those fun things for future videos all about how to teach from home. If you want to forward this on to anyone else who might benefit from this, that would be greatly appreciated. And have a wonderful, wonderful day.